What's up, everybody? Prizm Blaster full case 132. The manga bounty is at $600, ladies and gentlemen. Damn it, it keeps rejecting, okay? I guess I can put it over here. Yeah, let's see if it'll allow that. Sometimes I feel like I should have got into like more computers. I tried to get into it in like high school. Like I took like A+ certification and all that kind of stuff, and I think the only reason I honestly took that class was just because I wanted to like have a class with AC. AI is scary, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I understand. I just don't know the compromise, like what humans are gonna have to do, because AI is gonna automate a lot of the lower end jobs, the cashiers, the order takers, if you will, and vice versa. A lot of that lower end jobs, which is scary because then what do people do? The scariest part is it's actually going to affect people like me. Because like in 10 years time, I envy your talents, ITM. That's awesome. Like, I just think about like lower end jobs like, like for example, like, McDonald's, drive through order takers, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Pizza Hut cashiers, or whatever the case being. You maybe even, hell, who knows, grocery store cashiers pretty soon. Morning, Trev. Right. But you know what it is. You know what it is, right? Like, and again, I only say share my thoughts because I hope somebody has like a smarter reply, answer, or thought process than me. But like I think about like people who rely on those lower end jobs. Like somebody that's maybe like looking for a second job, somebody that's already retired but wants to stay busy, maybe somebody with special needs, and vice versa. So I think about those things a lot, because those types of people, they're not going to be the CEO, CFOs. They're not going to be they're not going to be VPs or anything like that. So it's just one of those things where that's where just my genuine concern lies. I think AI is good. I do. Overall, I think it's good because if there is certain cost cutting measures that the general public can take advantage of, I guess the hope is that the companies don't get greedy with the AI and cut the jobs and keep the higher profit margins, which I can't blame the business, but at the same time, it's kind of ass backwards at that point. So if somebody has a better reply to that, please, I'm all ears. I just was hoping somebody out in the chat might have some answers, or that is cool. You see, that's the kind of answer I was praying somebody knew out there. That's something I could get behind. Yes. Robots controlled by special needs. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Like to that degree, I believe AI is good. Oh, that's cool. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like just that in itself right there. Like that's helpful to society, to mankind. And I guess the bigger question is why haven't we adopted that, right? Like, and again, hopefully it's not a greed answer, but I have more questions than answers when it comes to those things. Like what is the significance about learning about Mars, Venus, Jupiter, like whatever planets that we're exploring? Like, what is the true purpose? Like, I get the curiosity, sure. It's about rare metals. Okay. Well, you did say that, everybody's still waking up, so we might as well wake up with quality conversation. I'm curious, Limitless. I'm not curious enough to read about. What's up, Dex? Audiobooks are tough. Audiobooks are shitty. You know why? Because I could never find a time to listen to it. I used to listen to audiobooks in my car driving to work and stuff. It's hard listening to it for snippets at a time. 15 minutes at a time, and you're driving and you're paying attention and you're looking around, and you're trying to listen and you hear the story, but you're not comprehending it because you're driving. Sure, you can listen to it at home, but then what are you doing when you're at home listening to it? You're just staring up at a ceiling, and then you get bored of just not doing nothing. I get bored of not doing nothing. How's that? Trust me, I know how to hyper focus. I just. No, but see, the thing is I don't comprehend everything. That's the problem. Like, I don't comprehend it. Like, I'm listening to it and I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, 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 yeah. But it doesn't stick. It's like, like, for example, I mean, just a basic, stupid example here, but if it says something like, if it says something like, if if you look into tax lien certificates, you're looking at a potential, 30 to 40% ROI on average within, 24 months. I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, tax lien certificates, awesome. And then like after that, I'd be like, shit, what was the ROI? What was worth it? Or like, what strategy can I use to park my money? And like all those kinds of things. Like, I used to listen to many audiobooks. There was a audiobook with, wow, I can't believe it's been that long since I've listened to it. Multiple Streams of Income, one of my favorite audiobooks of all time. Correct. Kinesthetic was always my way as well. Either audio, visual, or kinesthetic. I feel like the readers, the people that can read something and execute, those are the ones I envy. And a lot of that is like the old school community, I feel like. Oh, I was never good at fixing any SNESs. What are you trying to play on the SNES that you wanted to boot up? I'm very curious. Turtles in Time, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 2, Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2. Super Street Fighter 2. I didn't collect video games for nothing, sir. Oh, that's awesome, Skylar. Yeah, be careful, obviously. Did you use the code HAMMER for your first purchase? I appreciate you, Skylar. That's awesome, dude. Thank you for the support. Obviously, tell your friends and family about it, but also, more importantly, tell them to be responsible. I don't want nobody getting in trouble and shit. Sega Master System. That's crazy. Always wanted a 32X and stuff like that in Sega CD, and never did have one, but yeah, you gotta be you gotta be a little careful with it. Obviously, the buyback makes it fun too. You know what I mean? Sega Saturns, yeah. $1,200. If you have a few $1,200 cards on the way, and you're only invested for $3K, how are you in trouble? Well, I guess because you still paid for the $3,000 worth of cards for, $3,000 for $3,600 value, which is still, you paid 80%, which is still excelente, 83%, whatever the percentage comes out to. If I could buy cards at 83% no matter what all day long, oh, I'm good to go. What's up, LJ? So I have a Limitless. I didn't know. I'm not excellent with emulators because I don't know how to set up the optimum settings like how guys actually do all the time. But like I love the emulators for old games is like perfect for NES, Super Nintendo, Sega. Once you start going to like N64, it's a little tough. PS1, PS2, it's a little tough, but because I have a PS5, I didn't realize that I could use my I didn't realize I could use like my PS5 controller and just link it to my computer via Bluetooth, and now I actually have a controller I can use for my emulated games. One of my favorite PS2 games is like a not a well-known game, and it's actually critically reviewed as a bad game, but I genuinely enjoy it. I'll never stop playing that game. Is Gundam Journey to Jaburo. Oh, I love that game. I don't know why. I used to be a big mech guy growing up. What time is the game today? 5 o'clock, yeah? Alright. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys. My kid could use a new Switch. We have the Switch too. It's fun, but we don't use it. We don't use it enough. We don't use it enough. It's crazy. If I didn't give my brother my old Switch, I would have literally just told you. I would have hooked you up with one. Herb Jones and a red seismic. Shireman on the ice. Green of DeAndre Ayton. Jacoby on the ice. Yeah, Switch 2 is, in my opinion, is worth it. It's fun. I like to play like basic games now. Like, I think games got a little bit too boring nowadays. Like, Call of Duty is always like gonna be fun. That's like our modern generation Counter Strike, you know, like, which is always gonna be fun. You know, those kind of things is always fun. But like, there's no game that genuinely like really excites me. Like Grand Theft Auto 6 will genuinely excite me. Red Dead Redemption 3, if they ever make one, will genuinely excite me. But like other than that, like unless it's like a huge storytelling game with like big open world realism and stuff, most of the games nowadays I'm just kind of like, eh. Call me an old fart, but yeah, I never would have thought, I never would have imagined that. I've never got into WoW, never. I've never got into World of Warcraft. Kitchen, Kitchen, you the man. You the man, Kitchen, you the man. Golden Axe, well, Golden Axe 2 was my favorite because I never played number 1. Streets of Rage 2. I never played number 3 really, but Streets of Rage has one of the best soundtracks. Do you have sound right now, Kitson? If he has sound right now, I think he would laugh at this. Here, I literally have it in my video edit. Sorry guys, we're just kind of hanging out and having fun. There, we'll put this video edit in there for fun. Where is it? Oh yeah, yeah. That's literally one of them I have. There. I literally have the stage clear for like one of my saved sound effects. It's just funny you say that. Oh, you have both the vinyl? That's cool. That's cool. I knew I loved you. I knew I loved you, Kitson. I know I did. That's cool. Yeah, you know my random conversations that we have every morning. Sometimes it feels like everything I talk about is just non-sport related, but sometimes I prefer that. I am excited about tonight's matchup, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm very, 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 very excited. I might order pizza today. So I have the last vinyl. Actually, I take that back. The first and only Echo the Dolphin. I've played it. What's up, Oak Cliff? I've played Echo once and I never understood the damn dolphin game. I never understood it. Nice share. I've never given that game a chance. If you remind me, I will look that up. If Spurs win, what do I think would be the biggest shifts in how teams are constructed? I'll be dead honest with you. I have zero clue. I don't know how to answer that. How do you combat Wemby? Get more bigs? That's a great question. How would you combat Wemby? I honestly don't know. Like that's a great question. What would you have to do to let me ponder that. Kenneth Lofton. Let me ponder that. Let me ponder that. So in other words, fatigue him out. You would need a guard that's extremely fast. Someone to the degree of like the speed of like a AJ Mitchell with that kind of speed, Davion Mitchell, like somebody with like a lot of speed. In my opinion, I think speed is the only way you can get around someone like Wemby. But that is laboring, in my opinion, and that can be disastrous. I don't know if it was ITM. I don't know if it was ITM that said it before, but somebody told me that Wemby's brother is supposed to be a beast too. I feel like super teams are dead now. I feel like super teams are dead ever since the Nets went with KD, Harden, and Kyrie. I kind of feel like that was like the end of it. Kind of feel that way. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You could get somebody that just does all the dirty work. You could get someone like a Rodman in like today's game. I feel like the only way, I feel like honestly, the only other way that you could get around Wemby is you either gotta out muscle him um you gotta out muscle him or you gotta be faster. I feel like that's like your two. Right? Kind of like a David and Goliath story almost. Am I wrong for thinking that? Maybe. Sewer surfing all time bop. The only vinyl I've ever purchased to finish that note kits in was Linkin Park's Reanimation. I still have it in my house in Hawaii. I don't remember where I put it, but I still have it. There's a small tear in the factory seal, but I still have it till this day. I bought it from Tower Records. I always, like I said, I like the Mac. Right, right. A Dylan Brooks. Maybe someone with a little bit more size, but yeah. I'm not saying Dylan Brooks is small, but just someone with a little bit more size. Recherche. No ways. It can't be your top two. What about Aquatic Ambience from Donkey Kong Country? Come on, you can't not like Aquatic Ambience. What about the Green Hill Zone from Sonic? What about what other OG themes? Hold on, I gotta really think about this now. What about the entire Zelda Ocarina of Time? What about Zelda Ocarina of Time's phenomenal soundtrack? We were talking about Roasted. We were talking about that. I just showed him on my CapCut where I used to edit my videos. I have that. Yeah, hit live, Tempe, hit live. TNC Surf, yes. That was my favorite game. Yes, Mega Man X. Yeah, exactly. Mega Man X's entire themes was fucking badass. Boomer Coanger, Storm Eagle, Armored Armadillo. Oh, brah. Central Highway. As soon as you start the game and hit start, you just get beamed in Central Highway. And you just, you got like honeybees dropping their asses on you with spikes and rolling cars. And you got Vile. I loved Excite Bike. Excite Bike is still a goated game. Still a goated game. For those that don't know, surfing games was actually really, really fun. I used to love, I think for the PS2, Trans World Surf. Super fun game. Something that's super different. One game I couldn't get into, Aaron Gordon Orange. I couldn't get into like fishing games, like Rapala and stuff like that. Ninja Gaiden. I played it, yeah. Maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance. Nice auto. Rookie auto of Jalen Wells. Silver autograph. Very nice. Hoops Master. Very nice. Kolobaba. It's a great auto. That's a really clean auto. I've never played the PS1 Road Rash. I used to play the Road Rash for Sega Genesis, though. Which one is Sewer Surfing? Is that the one where you're on the disc and then like you're moving up and down on the disc and you're like stuck on that? Is that the one? Is that the stage? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Turtles in Time. Okay, yeah. That game was great too. I played Ninja Gaiden late in life. Like I probably played it about 8 years ago was the first time I ever played it. Actually, no, wait, it's 2016. Never mind, 10 years ago. Jeez. Because this is right when 2016 is when I started to dump some of my collection because I was looking into buying a house here in Vegas. Ow, my toe, my toe. Yes, I remember that. I do remember that. Yes. My toe, my toe. And they're grabbing their one foot. I never realized we had so many video gamers in here. Kitson, have I ever showed you this? And again, guys, we're just kind of hanging out this morning. Have I ever showed you my my collection? I wish I had more pictures. That's the one regret I have in life is I don't have more pictures. We have to show Kitson. So I had a garage sale December 2016. This is when we were getting ready to move to Vegas. I had brand new there's your Mega Man X, Chrono Trigger, brand new N64s. I had Snow Brothers. I had Jetsons. I had the NES Classic Editions. This is when they first came out. That's a sealed copy of Metroid. That's the real NES editions. Like I literally had a whole GameStop at my friend's house. It was insane. Arcade games? Fuck yeah, I had arcade games. I had a lot of arcade boards. This is what my house looked like. My house was littered. This is literally what my house looked like. I used to just sell and repurpose NES video games all day. That's all I used to do. Pikachu and that N64 right now is big dollars. I bet you never seen these video games. Hopefully I don't get banned. These are Panesians. These are probably like worth like $12,000. Bubble Bath Babes, Hot Slots, and Peekaboo Poker. Very hard to find and complete in box. This is literally what my house looked like. I just was littered with video games. Littered. 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 And then I don't know if I still have it. That's all I did. I only collected video games. Brand new N64, brand new Pokemon Stadium, brand new NESs. These two are brand new, and then this N64 I think was a used one, but majority of this was brand new. Brand spanking new, and they're not sealed. Back in the day, they didn't have stickers that sealed it and stuff like that. Arcade games. I used to go to garage sales and stuff, and I used to like grab cabinets. So I used to have quite a bit. That's when I found like a lot of my old Pokemon cards, like just like stashed away and some of my stuff. So like I had a lot of things. I don't know if I have any more. I think that's it. As you can tell, craps was always a big part of my life. Craps, always love craps. And let's continue. And yes, I used to have blonde hair. We are the Animaniacs. We are paid for paid contracts. That's it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, bro, people pay big dollars for Nintendo Power magazines. So like, yeah, yeah. It was Killer Instinct. It was Killer Instinct. That cabinet I never did pick up, unfortunately. But there was the gentleman we went to this garage sale. I'll never forget. I had like $1,200 on me, and he had all of these old PCB arcade boards, which is the motherboard. You would still need the appropriate fan and system and cabinet to put it in, but I had the master game, which is all these arcade boards. Basically, it's giant motherboards, basically, and this guy had maybe about like 100 something motherboards, and basically he sold it to. He was a video game, like an arcade technician in Hawaii. So in Hawaii, we had something called Fun Factory, which is kind of like a like a Dave and Buster's, but targeted for like more kids, if you will. So they had games like Point Blank, and obviously back in the day we had games like Street Fighter. They had Point Blank. They had a lot of the old school Atari games like Dig Dug, Atari Liberator, which I'll get back to on that. But a lot of those boards, the guy just sold it to us for like $10 a pop or $20 a pop, whatever it was. So I paid the guy $1,200. I drove out. We loaded the entire back of my car, and I have the picture on my computer still to this day. But my back of my old Lexus, and it's it sounds beautiful, but it was a bus up Lexus. I filled up the entire back seat with just arcade with motherboards, basically. I can tell you right now, two motherboards paid for the entire lot. It was called Atari Liberator, and I've never played the game, but I put that shit up on eBay and I put it as untested, right? So my eBay listing was Atari Liberator boards untested. I put it on auction. One board sold for like 680 something bucks 10 years ago, and then the other board sold for like 490 for whatever reasons. I listed them at separate times, but literally both those boards literally paid for the entire lot. And I still had like 6 Point Blanks. I had plenty of Street Fighter 2s. I had, what else did I had a lot of fighting games. No Marvel versus Capcoms or anything like that, though. I wish I had. If I had those, I would have kept those for sure. They had a couple of Pac-Mans, Mrs. Pac-Mans. Oh, I had a Bubble Bobble. That was cool. That sold well. I had a Bubble Bobble. I had Galaga. I had a couple of Galagas. Sorry. But this guy was like a video game technician, and the only reason he had all these boards was because he had to like disassemble all of it when they closed down and stuff. And he had like a huge shed and stuff, and it was just all in there. Oh, 77 years young. All right. A lot of your games, they sell for a lot of money, man. Sorry to go off tangent, ladies and gents. My bad. Look how many Jared McCains this case had. I wish I still had all my old stuff, man. Seriously. That's cool. That's what's up, Dex. I hope you and your mom have a great birthday, or she has a great birthday with you guys, with her family. Wells. Come on, let's see a manga. maybe about 10 ITM. Maybe about 10. It's been a minute since I've seen a Sublime. I took it away from the channel for a little while, group, just because, like, it was tough, you know what I mean? Like, people were downing on the product quite a bit. And then backer basically, like, we lose, every time I rip this, I lose money. Like, we are below market cost, backers getting buried, but at the same time, like, what are we going to do? Like, might as well just give it to you guys as a great deal and call it a day. And I think I got maybe like 15 cases of this left. So I don't have a ton of it left. And if it doesn't hit, I will probably try and figure out a way to roll it over into something. That's a sick mailman. I lost out on my Pokemon cards. I never was into Magic. I also lost out a lot on my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, unfortunately. I lost out a lot on my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Last stack. Shepherd Green. And that was the break. Nothing really there. Sorry, guys. Second year base LeBron where he's dunking the white top scroll. The one where he's kind of like doing a reverse dunk on. I haven't kept up with his second year market, to be honest with you. Yeah. That was a very interesting case. The correlation was weird. For the first time, this case didn't have any base autograph as well. Usually when you see a silver auto, usually you would have a base auto, but we don't have a base auto in this case, which is weird. That was Prizm 132. The bounty does go up. 133 is in the store group. I'm sorry I didn't do anything for you there on the manga spots. Thank you, guys. I don't know what his base is. I have no clue. I feel like it's more than $50 though.